Recently, a client told me, working with you feels like a true partnership, and you always have our best interests at heart. That is not by accident. It's a system. And in this video, I'm going to break down the client-first playbook that we use at McLean Forrester, the exact mindset, rituals, and scripts, with real stories of when it worked, when it didn't, and what we changed. If you've ever wondered how to build tech with white glove service, even if you're small, even if your clients are demanding or budgets are tight, this is for you. And stick around because midway through, I'll share my 6-step partner building protocol that we use internally to turn first projects into long-term partnerships. I tell people all the time that we are a client and team first organization. And they just smile because some get it instantly and others think it's just a cute tagline, but it's not. It is our standard. It's the lens in which we review every decision. And it's the reason clients stay, refer, and call us first when things get hard. And today I'm going to show you exactly what that means with the playbook we run daily at McLean Forrester. And by the end of this video, you'll have a practical system to deliver white glove, customer first service and tech without being a pushover, without burning out your team, or wasting money. You'll hear the behind-the-scenes moves from scoping workshops to weekly rituals that make clients say, it's like you're reading my mind. And I'll show you the boundaries that protect your people and your profit because customer first does not always mean the customer is always right, but it means the outcome is always right. So picture this. You walk into a fancy hotel. The ambiance is refined. The greeting from the staff is warm. The service is quick. Your needs are anticipated, and small details feel effortless. Now, translate that into consulting. That means friendly engagement, fast clarity, proactive guidance, frictionless communication, and thoughtful details that remove the cognitive load from the client. This is the bar that we set. In one of our Tech Tea podcasts, we talked about prioritizing customer experience so consistently that our clients start feeling like our partners, not purchasers. We obsess over their outcomes and building a long-term partnership. Their goals become ours, and that shift changes everything from that first email to the very last invoice. Great consulting isn't say yes and then go sprint. It's let's seek the truth and steward those good outcomes. Sometimes that might mean telling a client what not to do. Sometimes it's maybe seating your team side by side instead of face to face, so it's more collaborative. And sometimes that's a dinner out because the best strategy often emerges over a casual meal. Now, even if you're a small team, you can compete with bigger firms by being faster, clearer, and kinder because consistency beats size. Here's an example of how this works. When we engage with a new client, we focus on the outcomes they are looking to achieve, even when they come to us with a proposed solution. We hosted a day-long scoping workshop with a brand new client. But weeks before, we tailored the agenda to meet their exact goal. We don't use generic templates. We picked a distraction-free room. We brought in coffee and lunch and even some pastries. And we made sure that we sat them around the room, interspersed with our team, so we could start building that one team concept. It was never an us versus them across the table. Why did we do this? Well, we wanted to encourage collaboration and a one-team atmosphere. And guess what? By the day's end, we weren't two companies anymore. We were one product team with a shared vision. That wasn't hospitality for hospitality's sake. That is by design, a service design choice to accelerate trust and decision making. And you can easily do that too. Okay, so here's one tactic you can steal tomorrow. I call it my one team approach. And it works great when you're in the same room and you're brainstorming on something together. First of all, alternate who's sitting where so that it's not all your team and their team. Use the whiteboards and sticky notes. Have people write ideas on their sticky notes, post them onto the board, categorize them, move them around, and get everybody moving and involved. And then also, we could recreate a parking lot board where we put ideas that we want to resolve later. And this helps everybody understand we're not forgetting about these. It's just to be addressed at a later date. This kind of visible alignment and coordination in person really does help you get to faster alignment and start building that trust right away. Okay, here's another example. In our cadence, clients get demos of working software every other week. It's not slide theater, it's not mock-ups, it's real working software that the client can see and provide us with real-time feedback. We pair that with radical transparency about the spends and risks so that there are no surprises. And if we do make a mistake, we talk about it. Sometimes we might not bill for that time if it didn't produce value. Remember, we're playing a long-term game. Honesty is our strategy, and it builds a reservoir of trust that you need when those tough calls show up. Another client came to us with a product idea that they want us to build right away. We could have said yes and just pocketed that revenue, but instead we said, let's take a step back and make sure we're building the right thing. We aren't sure you're going to see the value out of this investment. We showed them the math. We dug in. We really understood what they were trying to build and what their outcomes they were trying to get. And the client ended up changing directions based on our recommendations. And they walked away with a much better suited solution. And later they thanked us. They saved money and we gained a long-term partner. And that's a hill we're going to die on. Our job is not to sell green widgets. It's to deliver valuable outcomes. So when you get into this type of a situation, here's a quick framework you can use. We call it the ROI framework. R for reason. What problem does this solve? O for outcome. How will we measure the success in 30, 60, 90 days? And I for investment. Does the cost, including opportunity cost, really make sense? If any one of these are unanswered or you're not sure, you should pause and then pivot. All right, now I'm going to share with you our internal repeatable 6-part operating system for customer first delivery. This is what I promised earlier, and you can use this as your checklist. Number 1 is proactive prep. Before we meet with a client, whether it's a kickoff or one of those introductory meetings, we want the client to know what to expect. Before the kickoff, we'll tell them how it's going to run. We'll share the agenda and make sure that it covers all the things they want to cover. We'll talk about meeting cadences and also how to ask for help. The outcome of this are aligned expectations from the start. And you also make sure that you're delivering everything that the client is expecting during that meeting. Number 2, concierge kickoff. Now, what does this mean? This means that we're going to treat the kickoff like we're the concierge. We're here to meet their needs. So we start with the client's vision and desired outcomes, not the architecture. We start with what changes to your business when we succeed. We map out user journeys, understand stakeholders, so it's clear who we're building for and who makes the decisions. We also introduce an escalation path. If anything feels off, they'll know exactly who to call. We discuss our approach to the project and align on priorities and features. The outcome of this collaborative kickoff is trust and speed. We align on what to build and why. Number 3, one team rituals. We've got a regular list of rituals that we run with every project. It starts with a weekly alignment meeting. Some call it a status meeting. We go over risks, decisions needed, and we talk about upcoming work. We do bi-weekly demos of real working software, not slides, not mocks. We show them the progress to date. And that really drives our team to have something to demo every 2 weeks as well. We periodically will do a whole team retrospective with the client. This helps us share feedback in a non-confrontational way and discuss concerns before they balloon into big issues. This also helps us pass on things like kudos and explain when things were well done. And lastly, we do a quarterly business review, which is really a step back at the leadership level. We zoom out and look at strategy and not the day-to-day. This really helps us course correct and make sure that we're aligned at a top leadership level. Number 4, fight for clarity. The risk of misalignment is something we work really hard to keep in check because building large, complex software solutions is hard and requires open communication and feedback to work properly. This looks like status reports that add value, provide the right visuals, and communicate the project status at a quick glance. If the sponsor can't understand the state of the project in the first 60 seconds, it's our fault. So we try to cut out jargon, added visuals that don't give you value, and we front load the risk so we make sure that they see the most important information up front. Now, clarity can also be tough conversations. I've never run a project that didn't run into some kind of issues, and those need to be addressed head on and right away. Bad news does not get better with time. And so when this happens, this is where the trust that you built in from the beginning comes into play to keep heads level and work towards a solution together. The outcome of this step is fewer surprises and more trust. And yes, miscommunication is one of the top failure points in software projects. Okay, the next section is about building in guardrails, and this starts with leadership support. Getting the client's leadership buy-in at that C-suite level is critical to project success. I have seen amazing projects fall apart because they didn't have that top-level C-suite support. If the client leadership is disconnected from the client project point of contact, this can result in huge problems down the road. Not only if complications arise, but also at the end when the project is done and it's time to transition to the client starting to use it. Ensuring alignment at the leadership level is key to gaining support throughout the project lifecycle. The second part of this is around contract structure. This looks like clearly defined scope and milestones and an explicit change request path, ensuring alignment on what we're building and what we can expect from each player. The third part about this is setting boundaries. It's really important to discuss how we communicate, interact, and behave as a team. This might also come to play if we have a not so nice team member. We need to make it clear that we work best in a partnership and require psychological safety for our team members. And if a client's culture might get toxic, we really need to set and reinforce those boundaries because respect is not optional. Here's my mini framework for how this works. I call it SAFE. S for setting expectations, A for adding boundaries, F for fixing that friction early, and E, escalating with kindness. The outcome here is a people-first policy that prevents burnout and resentment. Now, the last one, number 6, putting outcomes above outputs. We track metrics that matter, not just stories or points or time. We're tracking progress towards the goals, user adoption, revenue impact, costs avoided. It's not about the eaches. And also, we're continuously focused on results that the client can see. That's why we demo working software and we show them other deliverables. And this is the best way to show progress. Now, you may be thinking, but Heather, we're small. Well, small teams can be more consistent. Think about it. Fewer handoffs, crisper rituals, it still applies. Or you might think our clients are too demanding. But this is all the more reason that you need to be setting those guardrails and having proactive communications. Or budgets are really tight. But I'm telling you, leadership, stewardess, continuous feedback, and frequent prioritization will ensure the highest priority outcomes are achieved and get the most out of that budget that you have. Here's a belief that we refuse to compromise. You can't be client first if you are not people first. Burned out teams don't create delight. They're just focusing on triaging. We built McLean Forrester to be an organization where our people love Mondays. We have generous PTO, I have empathy when life happens, and we focus on professional growth of our team. We hire senior consultants who think like owners and stewards. And by focusing on our people, our client-first approach becomes second nature. Here's what we look for in our team: humility, emotional intelligence, flexibility, and an innovative spirit. And on the client side, here's what we look for: a client who's willing to collaborate, who's open-minded and willing to take feedback, transparency and open communication, and a client that's wanting to build a true partnership. You know, there's a reason that I carry this standard so seriously, because in an early chapter of my career, I watched brilliant people be undervalued and I had to lay people off to trim costs. That day really broke something on me and really burnt me out on corporate life. But it also gave me the reason to build something better. And I promise to create a company where decisions are guided by our motto: do the right thing and do the thing right. We put clients first and people first. And that's it. That is the heartbeat of McLean Forrester. In reality, what does that mean? It means we treat you like a friend and serve you like a partner. We anticipate your needs, not just respond to tickets. We protect your budget like it's our own. We tell you the hard truth, even if it costs us in the short term. And we design collaborative experiences that enable faster decisions, clear outcomes, and build trust. Okay, so here's a recap of our 6-part operating process that I covered earlier. Number 1, proactive prep. Set those expectations from the start. Number 2, our concierge kickoff, where we align on vision, roles, and escalation. Number 3, one-team rituals, like retros and demos of working software. Number 4, fight for clarity. Ensure alignment and open communication. Number 5, make sure you have those guardrails in your contracts and using our SAFE method. And number 6, outcomes over outputs every time. Well, I hope this helped you. If it did, hit subscribe on this channel. And also, we've got a Tech Tea newsletter. We'd love to send that out monthly. I continue to share all of my tested systems that actually ship outcomes in these 2 methods. And if you're exploring AI, modernization, and wanting to build something ambitious, conversations with us are free. Tell us your goals. We'll help you find the shortest, honest path. We're not trying to be the biggest. We're trying to be the most trusted, because in tech, trust is the product. And when you lead with service, done right, everything else falls in place. Thanks for your time.